Hello everybody, this is Diana. I am going to do a video today on the hoops for the MB4. We've got a lot of new people in our group, and I keep seeing the same question over and over and over again on what hoops can we use on the MB4 besides just the hoops that came with the machine. As you all know, this is the small hoop that came with the MB4. It's the M3. Then we have the M2, that's the 5x6. And then we have our M1, that's the 200 millimeter by 240 millimeter. And some of us has lost screws. I've lost screws and they're hard to find, especially with the little nut on the back. Okay, everyone, you've heard me talk about the Durkee hoops and everything. I love the Durkee hoops. And in order to make sure you get the correct hoop to fit your MB4 without having to change the ends, I'll show you what I mean. This is a hoop that fits the MB4 without having to change your arms. You hear them say change the arms and everything. This has got a 3 3/8 inch bracket attached to the hoop itself. Yes, you can buy Durkee hoops from other places besides Durkee, like Ken's Sewing and stuff. But when you do that, you're going to end up getting a hoop with a very short arm, the arm yarn on here. The reason they do that is because this will fit several different machines, like the Brother and the Baby Lock and stuff like that, without having to change anything. Price wise, they are the same price anywhere that you would get them, because Durkee has a legal agreement with anyone that sells his hoops for mass hoop selling, like Ken's or on eBay or Amazon or anything like that. They are all the same price. If he ever catches anyone selling them for less, they get closed down. So that's one thing that Durkee has with any supplier of his hoops. They have to be sold the same price as they sell them. The only thing is, Durkee, when you order from Durkee and you tell them you want a hoop to fit the MB4, you're going to get the correct ends to fit your machine. And then you don't have to move your arms in. I'll show you what I'm talking about in a minute. The one thing that the MB4, their arms are not real steady, so the screws that hold them in can be stripped very easily. Don't ask me why. Yeah, that's happened to me. I've had to replace a screw. Actually, you can't replace the screws very easily, especially if you want to work on that and you're going to have to wait to have a screw shipped to you and they don't carry them at your dealers or anything, or if you don't have a dealer close. My husband had to take my machine out and cut a slot, because it's a Phillips head screw. He had to cut a slot in the screw head so I could take it off the arm. So it's just best not to have to move those arms in. The other hoops that you can use are it's the Janome hoop. They're called J hoops, and this is what they look like. This is a J hoop. A lot of people, these came out before the fast frames and the easy frames and everything, and I've got a set of these. They do go on a bracket like this. You put them on a bracket like this. I know a lot of people in the group have these. I love these little hoops. This is the very same size as the M2. This is on the Janome MB4 frame. You can set this hoop because it's called the J7. This is a J7. This is a J1 to go in little socks or little cuffs or something. Then there is a J4. every one of these hoops are programmed into the machine, so you can change it to the hoop that you want. I will show you how to put these on. You have to take the whole arm carriage off to do it, the arms, but I will show you how to do that. Then we have again, this is a Durkee hoop. This is a 6x6. People keep asking, how do you set this for the machine? These are not in our machine, but the 6x6 has a little bit bigger sew area than the M2. I always take this as my template. This is the template for the M2 hoop, and I use it for my 6x6. I have made templates for most of my Durkee hoops. This is another Durkee hoop. I use this for pant legs, up in an arm. Fantastic for onesies. Okay, this is the 5x9 Durkee hoop. What I have done with this one is I have bought, it's called Quilter's template plastic that has the little lines and everything for it, and I have made templates for all of my Durkee hoops, just like the templates that come with the MB4 hoops. It makes it easy to line things up. You put your center mark. I will also show you how to mark your Durkee hoop for your center, so you'll know when the machine registers to the starting position. That is the center part of all of their hoops, just the 3 hoops that come with the machine. I will show you how to center this. This is another Durkee hoop that's really nice to use for pant leg or backs of shirts, jackets. You can sew a big area on this, because this is basically the same width. The length is a little bit longer. As you can see, it's a little bit longer than our M1 hoop. So you can get a good size in here. So this is the 6x12. This also can be used this direction on commercial machines, which I do have. You just have to move these arms, and it comes with 2 sets of arms. You move this arm to the side here so you can use it this direction. But we have this one, is the same type, it's the same size as this other one. Basically, this will fit inside here. This is a 6x9, this is a 5x9. So this will fit on our MB4 nicely. The other ones that a lot of people use, the Magna hoops. I do not have the Magna hoops, so I can't show you those. I do have this is Durkee's version of the Easy Frame, or the Fast Frame. It's called the Easy Frame. I like this better than the Fast Frames because the frames themselves are a lot thicker, more sturdy. It has 2 knobs to hold it firmly instead of 1. So if you happen to strip one of these, you still have another one to tighten it so it will stay on the machine. It slips on the arms just like one of the regular hoops. Again, if you want the correct ends to fit on your hoop arms, order this from Durkee, and you get 7 different hoops with it, and I had ordered an extra one. Then there is the Durkee hat hoop. I have 2 of these. I love the hoops. I use these more than my cylinder hoop. I have 2 big machines that take the big cylinder hat hoops. I will use this over those. It may take a little bit longer to hoop a hat, but you have a bigger sew area. You can do a good size 3.5 by 4 on your hat, where on the cylinder you can do a long one, but it's only maybe, depending on the hat, if you have a high brim hat or a low brim hat. A low brim hat, you can only do like a 2 1/4, maybe 2 1/3 inch tall design on a cap, where you can do a good 4-inch. Well, you've got this is the same size basically as the M2 hoop. And when you put it in the machine, you're sewing the design on the cap just like you would sew it on a shirt. It's straight up and down. Where the Janome hat hoop goes this way, it will slide on this, but their hoop is this direction. So you're sewing sideways. So you're having to turn your design 90 degrees around in order to sew it. It just makes it so much easier just to slip your cap on just like this. I am going to pause for a second, turn the camera around and everything so I can show you the machine and how to use. Okay. You have to remove these screws right here. And move them over to the next set of screwed holes. I'm not going to tighten down that other one. But then you would have to move the other arm over here in. That way, then the hoop will fit on there. That's a real pain if you're wanting to do something bigger. You have to unscrew those screws, move the arm back out in order to use one of your hoops that came with the machine. So that's why I always make sure if I'm going to order a Durkee hoop that I'm going to get it directly from Durkee, because they will send you the correct ends. But if you happen to catch someone, oh, I'm selling them, you can have them for such and such price. If they have the correct ends, that's great. Sometimes they don't. They bought it off like Ken's or something like that, and they don't have the correct hoops. You can purchase just the ends. I don't know if they've gone up or not, but I had to purchase a few ends, and at the time they were like $14.99 or $15.99 or something like that for just the ends in order to put on my hoop that I wanted. Now you can buy a hoop that you have to make sure you can, if you get them when you're reading on what size you need. You have to make sure you measure correctly from this little knob here to the other knob, and I think it's like 13 3/8. So it's from arm to arm is like 13 1/4. So you would have to make sure you got a hoop that would fit a 13 1/4 inch arms. For the bracket for your, like I said, you could, for the easy frames and the head hoop, like I said, it slips right on there, just like that. The same for the easy frames. You don't have to take anything off to change your bracket. The easy frame just goes on just like a normal hoop. You want to make sure that when you take the frame off, that you're not taking it off up here, unscrewing the knobs up here, and taking the hoop off, because this will attach. The hoops attached to these knobs up here. Just like this. And then it slips on the machine just like that. So when your sewing's finished, don't go up here and do this, because sometimes these fit in there tight and you're going to be wiggling this around. And when you're doing that, you're going to be jarring and wiggling the arms of the carriage. You could damage that, damage the mechanism in here. So always make sure you pull it off just like a regular frame. Then remove your hoop from the frame, unhoop your item and rehoop. Now for the J hoop, I can show you. These are a nice little frame. You can actually use them kind of like a fast frame. Just put a piece of sticky stabilizer or whatever you want on there. But then again, you have to remove the arms. So you just unscrew these big screws back here, and this slides off just like this. So here's your arm carriage. Then you take this and fasten it right into the little bracket there and tighten up those screws. So you've got that attached. It doesn't take very long. Just make sure you've got it tight on there. It's got some little brackets in there that will snap up in there. So you've got it on there nice and tight. And then for these, you can just, you bring it up a little bit, push in because it's got a spring, and then it catches. So that will stay on there like that. And to remove it, you just go in here and push and bring up, and it comes right off. So this makes it real nice to use for smaller ones. I've used this a lot before I got the Durkee one for onesies and things like that. Because this is the same size as your M2, and I use the template for my M2 for this. Okay, I'm going to take this off, and I told you I would show you how to set the center point for the Durkee hoops. To get my arms back on there. There we go. Now, take your Durkee hoop, put it in your arms. Now on Durkee hoops, you cannot generally, most of them, once you got it hooped, you cannot put it in there all the way up. It's got two holes. Just put it into this first hole here. So once it's in there and it's good and stable, take a ruler, bring your needle down, take a ruler and place it right up against your needle, and on either side on your arms, take a marker and mark right there. This is the center of this hoop for this machine. So when I'll show you the difference. Here is the center, where am I? Here is the center of this hoop right here. Here is the center for the MB4. So when you are hooping a shirt and stuff, and you put the shirt on there, make sure you mark the shirt where you want the center of your design and match it up with this mark that goes all the way across. Not the center of the hoop, but the center of your machine. That goes for all of the, mainly that one. Well, no, sorry. It goes for any of the Durkee hoops that go on that, like this. As you can see here, here is the mark. This is the center of this Durkee hoop. Here is the center of the machine. The same for the, here's my 66. Now the 6x6, since it is smaller, yes, it's still up. Where's my ruler? Here's my ruler. Yes, it's even up just a little bit. As you can see, here's the center of the hoop. Here's the center for the MB4. I hope this clears any misconceptions about the hoops and stuff. And on your RC unit, if you go to the, let me see if I can, this is a Tajima hoop, and it's a 15 millimeter, so you could, you could set it to the Tajima hoops. Also, I said you could make the placement templates. Here's a placement template I have made for my Durkee hoop, and I have made a video on how to make these templates. And you could actually, after you make your template, mark on your template right here where this is the center of the hoop. Here you could mark it up here and put a bold line right across there, so that you would know that would be your center point for the Durkee hoop for the MB4. I think I've gone over everything about the hoops and stuff. I'm going to move my hoop back to my M1. I hope this clears up how to use some of the hoops, the different hoops for the MB4, the MB4S, the MB4, the MB7. They all have the same arms. They're all the same size. So if you think you can get a bigger sewing field than the M1 hoop, no. It will only recognize the biggest sewing field as the M1 hoop, because it doesn't have enough room back here. Yeah, there's my hand. You only have this much room anyway from back here, and of course the carriage itself right here takes up a good 4 inches or so. So you don't have, that's the only as big as you can go, and the arms will only go so far from left to right. So that, and like I said, just the M1 hoop, that's the biggest area you're going to get, unless you do a division of your design and split it and then move your fabric over and re-hoop it. If you have any more questions, just send me a message or ask in the group, and I will try to get back to you. I know we don't have a whole lot of people that are admin in the group. I think there's only 2 or 3 of us, and I'm the one that's basically there. Tony is a fantastic help with the technical support of this machine. He's wonderful. I go to him a lot. I have used this thing for a lot, but there's always something I just don't know. Like I had to have the B-board replaced on it here a month or so ago. That's something I would never tackle myself. But any other questions, just let us know what you need. Talk to you later. Bye.